This is the S&P 500 one-month overview reading for the month of June 2023. It's currently April 17th, 2023, 2:34 p.m. Eastern Time. SPY at the time of this reading currently $411.85. That's USD. And the shuffle file we're about to watch, which was created on February 26, 2023 at 11:26 p.m. Eastern Time. That's this file right here. So the overall theme and behavior for the month, we have a significant move higher, standing out on a multi-day chart, maybe a year-to-date chart. A significant move to reach a distant resistance. It's crossed with an important support level that's highlighted. A lot of price movement takes place when you see an ace. A lot of price change takes place, so there should be a support level that's highlighted at some point, which is important on a multi-day scale, probably a year-to-date scale, and a lot of price movement between the support. It also could indicate here, it probably does indicate here, that we have a significant trade opportunity on a year-to-date kind of scale based on it being in here, the crossing card. Behavior around the highest high, we have an overbought crest or peak that will sell off from through multiple support levels. And then behavior around the lowest low. There'll be a failed attempt to break through key resistance on a one-month scale, followed by a decline through key support, taking us into the low. So I'll be looking for that kind of technical chart behavior when I'm looking in real time to determine if we met the lowest low for the S&P 500 in the month of June. Before we go any further, let's take a look at the 1 year and see how we're doing so far. Each one of these clusters is represents a month out of the year, and we've got a prominent trough here in January. We've got a prominent trough. We have a prominent high in February, and then a prominent trough in March. You have to give this about 2 weeks wiggle room, but you could say there's a prominent trough there in early March, kind of like blending the two, right? And then we have a rally along diagonal trend line, taking us to resistance level here. Interesting. So we've got an important resistance level here in April. That's going to be highlighted on a multi-year scale, and you can see we're up here around the cruelty. We should revisit a crest and like some erratic behavior back and forth through like the end of April, and then off of a peak or crest we're going to decline in May, come back in with a full-on rally from the low in May into a high, a brief and easily missed high and peak in June. But this is looking pretty solid. This is looking pretty solid as far as what's transpired so far. So let's continue here. Most likely we have a lowest low here on the 1st, 2nd. And then we most likely have a highest high here on the 23rd. But remember, there's a lot of price change going on to the upside here. So we want to keep that in mind to inform ourselves when reading the rest of the cards. So here on the 1st, we have a prominent low, most likely a lowest low, either here on the 1st or the 2nd. There's a big move to the upside out of a decline, even in the face of seemingly overwhelming headwinds. On the 2nd, we have a decline that offers a trade opportunity, which I'll talk more about at the end of this video for an example of what the paid monthlies look like. When you get a paid monthly video, at the end of the video is all the information on the best trades that we see for the month, and you can order any of those paid monthlies here at SO Meta Analysis. There's that shuffle file completed. SO Meta forecasts, and then you go to monthly predictions. Just pick the month and the once you click on the month, you're going to get a drop down of the tickers that we're offering for that month. Pick the ticker, and it's a really great way to support the channel. Much appreciated to all of you that go ahead and do that. So another thing to point out, guys, is that we've got a highest high here, or a highest high in June, or a highest high thus far for the year in June. I think we might see the same high or a higher one here in July, but we have a highest high here in June. And we probably have a highest high at the end of the year too. So this is probably a highest high thus far here in June, but it'll be a very significant high standing out on like a year-to-date chart. So you want to keep that in mind. Okay, so declining on the second, offering trade opportunity, which we'll talk about in the paid the end of the video, and then on the 5th. We have a U-shaped dip that forms near the intersection of two perpendicular diagonal trend lines. There's a trade opportunity there as well, which we'll talk about in the paid version. On the 6th, we have a period of sideways rotation that ends with a fast, sudden move higher. It looks like we have a correlation to a big move higher there on the 6th to reach for a distant resistance. Rally continues on the 7th, reaching for a distant resistance. And this will be like probably the highest price level thus far for the month here, right around the 7th most likely, and then a lot of price change here on the 8th. What appears to be a significant move either from the 7th or from the 8th down to a low on the 9th. So a prominent trough, I should say a prominent trough on the 9th. So there's a lot of trade opportunity here because a lot of price change with these princesses. I'll talk about that in more detail in the paid version. There's some day trade opportunity in there as well. An important reversal. It'll stand out on a 1-month chart there on the 9th. And it looks like it's a cash out opportunity. I'll talk more about that in the paid version. Over the weekend, it looks like we have a gap down, notable gap down over the weekend. This brings us to a prominent low or trough here, an important trough for the month. And it looks like we have like a sideways fluctuating rally out of the trough into the 13th. There's sideways fluctuating rally that precedes a decline, which we see there on the 14th. We should see an important support level and a lot of price change here on the 14th come into play. A trade opportunity there as well. On the 15th, we have a fast sudden move higher standing out on a 1-month chart, followed by a peak or crest on the 16th that we sell off pretty notably from. Prominent trough there as well. It's possible that this is like really close to a lowest low again. It's possible. Then we have the market closed on the 19th. We open at a day's low on the 20th. It's hard to determine if we open lower than where we close on the 16th. Difficult to determine, but we established support on a 1-month scale on the 20th, and then there's a prominent move to the upside standing out on a 1-month chart, followed by the establishment of support at a higher level and a peak or crest there towards the cusp of the 20th and 21st. A day trade opportunity I'll talk about in the paid at the end of the video here with the a day trade opportunity on the 20th. I'll talk about at the end of the video in a paid version, or an example of a paid version. On the 21st, we have price swings. Looks like we have we either have a peak at the end of the day on the 20th, followed by a gap down on the 21st, and then a big move to the upside at the end of the day of the 21st in the midst of some sideways price swings. Or we have a gap up. If we don't have a peak at the end of the day on the 20th, then probably there's a gap up and we decline on the 21st, followed by a big move to the upside at the end of the day. So there's some price swinging there between the 20th and the 21st. Significant decline off of a big move to the upside on the 22nd. So be careful for that, because it looks like early in the day there's probably a big move to the upside here on the cusp of the 21st, 22nd, and most likely we have our highest high here at the on the cusp of the 21st, 22nd, with a sharp decline either taking place on the 22nd or taking place on the 23rd, with the halting of a bullish trend marked by a sharp decline through key support on a 1-month scale there on the 23rd. So to be prudent, I'd say the peak around the cusp of the 21st, 22nd is where I'd want to like count on a trade for a highest high. I don't think I'd want to wait, because when we look at the one year, guys, we have indolence for the as the highest high, so a brief peak that's easily missed. A big move to the upside on a 1-month chart kind of scale on the 26th, bumping along resistance, breaking through resistance, bumping along resistance. There's a trade opportunity there I'll talk about at the end of the video. And then on the 27th, we have a decline that'll stand out on the 1-month chart. Well, I'm advised not to chase a rally that kind of ends towards the middle part of the 27th, and then there's a decline back to a support level that's important on a 1-month scale that we recently visited. So maybe like early on the 20th, maybe that support level. And there's a prominent trough on a 1-month scale there on the 28th. Possibly a lowest low, but less likely than a lowest low at the beginning of the month. And there's an important resistance level there that's highlighted or important price level that's highlighted on the 28th on at least a 1-year scale. Some holding pattern kind of chart behavior on the 29th. Either that or we have Senate highlighted, but it could be a holding pattern with a pop and drop there. On the 30th, out of a trough on the cusp of the 29th, 30th, there's a big move to the upside and a peak or crest early in the morning on the 30th, followed by a decline into the end of the day, rotating sideways along key support on a 1-month scale. Sneak preview for the following month: an important resistance level on a multi-J or on a year-to-date kind of scales is highlighted. I would say we likely revisit the same resistance that we created a highest high there for here in July. That's probably what takes place. But in any case, that's June 2023 for the S&P 500. Now I'm going to get into all of the best trades that I see. This is basically what you get when you order a paid version of one of our monthly spreads. So I would open up a long position here around the 1st, 2nd, near a lowest low. You could close that long position most likely on the 7th. Or better, at a peak or crest early in the morning on the 22nd, or at the cusp, after a big move to the upside on the cusp of the 21st, 22nd, in the midst of some price swings. That would be a highest high location to get out of a long position. That would be for a good month's swing trade. That's probably the best one there. Well, you could also open up a long position here in the midst of this sharp decline that we have on the 14th and close the long position there, same place, highest high around the 22nd. A lot of trade opportunities, so I'm sticking to the ones that make the most sense. This is a pretty good short-term swing trade, I think, here. In the midst of like this lowest low trough decline that we have here on the 1st, 2nd, opening a long position and closing that long position here on the 7th. That's a good swing trade. Opening up a short position on the 7th and closing that short position either at somewhere around the cusp of the 8th or the 9th. So if you have a good profit on the 8th, I'd say close it there. More speculative would be to wait till the following day on the 9th before we have a notable reversal. Close a short position there. Hmm. One, two, three, four, five. No, I'm just looking at the how many places there's correlations to an ace of discs, and I think probably the like one of the more important trades or the more lucrative trades is here around these two princesses going from a peak or crest to a trough at a key support level on a multi-day scale there. And it's possible that we see the same support level more than once. With some of these ace of discs correlations, like on the 14th, 16th, hard to determine. I know when I was doing the June SPC reading, there was 2 highs and 2 lows. It kind of went like back and forth. So maybe that's sort of what's happening here. We go kind of like something like that. We'll have to see. That's the S&P 500 for June 2023. Let me know what you think by hitting that like button. Don't forget to subscribe, guys. If you're interested in getting the S&P 500 1 month as early as possible, check out our early access on our website, Tarot for Traders. This June post went up in April. The second earliest place you can get it, and this is the earliest you can get it for free, would be our newsletter, which you sign up for on the website tarotfortraders.com. It's a free newsletter. You get the S&P 500 1 month sent to you every month ahead of the month. Otherwise, you got to wait until the 21st of the month when it comes out in public on YouTube. Thanks for watching, my friends. As always, make sure to follow that rule of karma. You do that here at the resources tab of our website, Tarot for Traders. 5% of the profits back to the channel here at Cashapp, at PayPal. We definitely remember your names, my friends. Thank you so much for your support. And continue being angel investors by sending 5% of the profits forward to one of these charities here. Really goes a long way to support the world, the multiverse, your own karma, and it's a great way to continue the abundance and abundance mind, supporting the flow of abundance to you and through you. With that said, my friends, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one.